Hey everyone, today's video is about 1. You tell him you want to break up in the middle of the fight. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's get going. You stand in the middle of your living room, fists clenched at your sides, staring at Katsuki with tears in your eyes. The argument had escalated quickly, harsh words flying back and forth until they cut deeper than any physical blow. I can't do this anymore, you say, your voice trembling with emotion. I want to break up. Bakugou's eyes widen in shock, his own anger momentarily forgotten. What? He says, his voice barely above whisper. You take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself. I can't keep living like this, Katsuki. We're always fighting each other, always hurting. It's not healthy, and it's not fair to either of us. I just want to be happy. And you might as well be happy, too. He steps forward, reaching out to touch your arm, but you pull away, unable to bear the thought of his touch right now. But, Wayan, we can work this through. We've been through so much together. Can't just let you go for a mere fight, okay? We can't just throw it all away, just like that. You shake your head, tears streaming down your cheeks. No, Katsuki, I'm sorry this time, but I truly can't be with you. I'm sorry, but I need to do what's best for me as well. Maybe if you really don't care, I do. He looks at you, pain and confusion written all over his face. I love you, he says, his voice breaking. I just can't lose you, Wayan. I love you too, you reply, your heart breaking with every word. But sometimes, love really isn't enough. With that, you walk away, leaving Katsuki standing alone in the empty room, the echoes of your words hanging heavy in the air. As you step out into the night, you know that this was the right decision, no matter how much it hurt. That was going to work for the both of you. Days pass in a blur of sadness and uncertainty. You try to keep yourself busy, throwing yourself into work and spending time with friends, but the pain of breakup still lingers like a shadow. The breakup was haunting you every time you thought about something. You can't help but wonder if you made this right decision. Despite the argument and the hurt, there is a part of you that still loves Bakugou, that still hopes that things somehow could still work between you. But every time you start to doubt yourself, you remember the reason for why you ended things. The constant fighting that you had, the hurtful words, the feeling of walking on eggshells around each other. It wasn't healthy, and you knew that. Deep down, you knew that you had made the right choice anyway. Still, it didn't make the pain any easier to bear. You find yourself replaying the breakup in your mind, wondering if there was something that you could have done differently, some way to make things work. One evening, as you're sitting alone in your apartment, lost in thoughts, there is a knock on your door. You hesitate for a moment before you open the door, and you are surprised to see Bakugou standing there, his expression somber. Can we talk? He asks, his voice soft. You hesitate, unsure if you're ready to face him again. But something in his eyes tells you that this was important, that he needs closure just as much as you do. Okay, you say, stepping aside to let him in. He follows you into the living room, and for a moment, neither of you say anything. The tension in the air, palpable, thick with unresolved emotions. Finally, Baku breaks the silence. I've been thinking a lot about what you said. He begins, his voice rough with emotion. And I think you're right. We truly can't keep going on like this. I need to figure myself out. And if I can't do that, then that just means I'm dragging you down with me.
You look at him, surprised by his honesty.
Katsuki,
He holds up a hand, cutting you off.
I'm not asking you to take me back,
He says, his voice firm.
I know I messed up, and I have to live with that, but I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. For everything.
Tears prick at the corners of your eyes as you listen to him speak. Despite the pain of the breakup, there was a sense of closure in his words. Feelings that maybe, just maybe, you can both move on from whatever this was.
I'm sorry too.
You reply, your voice barely a whisper. For a moment, you look at each other, the weight of the past hanging heavy between you. But then, Bakugou stands up, his expression determined.
I should go,
he says, his voice steady.
But if you ever need anything, I'll be right here. Just take care of yourself, alright?
You nod, watching as he walks to the door, and as he steps out into the night, you can't help but feel a sense of hope stirring in your heart. Maybe this wasn't the end after all. Maybe it was just the beginning of something new. Days pass in a blur of sadness and uncertainty. You try to keep yourself busy, throwing yourself into work and spending time with friends, but the pain of the breakups lingers like a shadow, haunting your every thought. You can't help but wonder if you made the right decision. Despite the arguments and the hurt, there was a part of you that still loves Bakugou after all. That still hopes things could work out between you. But every time you start to doubt yourself, you remember the reasons why you ended things. The constant fighting, the hurtful words, the feeling of walking on eggshells around each other. It wasn't healthy, and you knew deep down that you made the right choice. Still, it doesn't make the pain for you any less than it was. You find yourself replaying the breakup in your mind, wondering if there was something that you could have done differently, some way to make things work, perhaps. One evening, as you're walking home from work, you spot Katsuki standing on the sidewalk ahead of you. For a moment, you freeze, unsure of what to do, but then you take a deep breath and steel yourself, knowing that you can't avoid him forever.
Hey,
You say softly. He turns to look at you, surprise flickering in his eyes.
Hey, I miss you.
And then, without another word, you reach out and wrap your arms around him tightly, pulling him into a tight hug. He hesitates for a moment before returning the embrace.
I miss you too.
For a moment, you just stand there, clinging to each other in the middle of the sidewalk, the world falling away around you. And in that moment, you realize that maybe there's still hope for the two of you. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And goodbye.